North Carolina will, this weekend against Syracuse, and for the balance, barring injury, have Tez Walker on the field. Tez Walker, to refresh your memory, is the transfer from Kent State, very talented player, big, fast, good hands receiver. Not that they don't have similar players, but they don't have anybody as good. Oh, we have more. Just been handed. Oh, yeah, I got all these statements. I have them online, but thank you. We're all good. Because I'm about to read. We have statements to read.
Yeah.
I have more from the NCAA
Fresh
on this,
off the press.
Right? So just to refresh everybody's memory very quickly, and I'm not going to go through in great detail. He's a Charlotte area kid, got injured his senior year in high school, was going to go to East Tennessee State, and they said, well, since you're hurt, we'll gray shirt you, stay home. Never went to East Tennessee State, enrolled at NC Central. In 2020, of course, the season was not played because COVID. The MEAC canceled sports. He went through spring practice in 2021 because there was the MEAC was going to try and play football in the spring, but they weren't ready to have fans. MEAC doesn't have a great TV deal. Goes without saying. So they need fans and seats. And so they didn't play in the spring because we still weren't at that place where we could have full stadiums. And that didn't happen until well into the summer, into the fall. And there was still a chance that they wouldn't have a fall season in the MEAC. He transfers to Kent State. So he has 2 great seasons at Kent State. This is the first time he's played college football, right? Plays 21 and 22 for Kent State. Remember, his senior year in high school ended in 19. So he got hurt in the senior year. Hadn't played almost 2 years or 2 seasons. So he plays 2 years at Kent State. He's great. Transfers to North Carolina, knowing that he was going to be considered as a second-time transfer because while he never played at Central, he transferred from Central to Kent State. So they knew ahead of time he was going to be a second-time transfer. But at the time he transferred and enrolled at UNC, getting the waiver as a second-time transfer, I'm not saying it was a formality. It was far easier. Then the coaches bitched and moaned, and then the requirements became far more difficult. And if you read it, and you read the timeline of events and how the NCAA responded to how UNC's appeals, you could tell right away that it was a very uphill climb that he was ever going to be eligible this year at UNC. All right. Now, I read a part of it before the break, but this comes from the Pete Thamel piece. This might be actually from the NCAA statement, and I want to read it because I want all of you to understand the NCAA and their real mindset. It's unfortunate that UNC failed to provide this important information previously. While we must be careful not to compromise a student-athlete's right to privacy when it comes to sensitive issues, we want to assure the Division I membership and everyone watching how the new transfer rules are applied, that this meets the new transfer waiver standards. UNC's behavior and decision to wage a public relations campaign is inappropriate and outside the bounds of the process UNC's own staff supported. Had the UNC staff not behaved in this fashion and submitted this information weeks ago, this entire unfortunate episode could have been avoided. Without losing my job, what's the proper response to the NCAA?
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
Without losing my job,
exactly.
Right? Without risking the license, the broadcast license
right.
of this radio station and all the others who are on this vast network.
I could just play a bunch of bleep sounders.
Yeah, do that. Give me bleeps and like horn noises and all of that because, I mean, unbelievable.
There you go. There you go. Use your imagination. Oof.
Gosh, that's just
Terrible.
it's the worst. The absolute worst. All right. Mac Brown's statement. We're thrilled to find out earlier today that Tez Walker has been granted immediate eligibility. He will be available for the remainder of the 2023 season. I'm sure they released sensitive information about health or maybe his own health. I mean, health of his grandmother. That's the impetus for him wanting to be closer to home, or his own grandmother or whatever, that they probably did not want out for fear it be made public, because the NCAA does crap like this. Man, I was close. I was a self-edit at the last minute. Tez Walker, I'm so excited and thankful the NCAA has granted my eligibility to play this season. This hasn't been easy, but I'm looking forward to putting this in the past and moving forward. Always knew UNC was a special place, but it's proved it over and over again throughout the last few months. So much support from the university, blah, 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 blah. And he doesn't even say, but they screwed me because they wouldn't give the NCAA enough information.
Right. He's keeping it classy. But it's very difficult to do.
Unlike the NCAA,
yes,
who doesn't keep it classy. That's embarrassing. Look, whatever reason you make the decision, just make the decision and keep it moving. Just keep it moving. I understand why both sides were mad initially. I get it. I didn't think that that UNC statements calling the NCAA out were proper. I said that at the time. Doesn't do anybody any good to publicly humiliate the NCAA. But the NCAA responded to that. No need to do it again. I didn't have a problem with the NCAA coming back at UNC because I thought you kind of brought it on yourself. This, unnecessary. Tez Walker, go ball out on Saturday against Syracuse.
Oh, I
go
hope
ball
so.
out, man. Let's do it. Let's get it done.